Ladies and gentlemen, hello. It is Goku Mega, and oh, I did not think I would be saying that again after my last video where I said goodbye to YouTube and fuck everything. But no, I I kind of touched upon this in a thread on my discussion post on my YouTube channel where I said that, this won't necessarily be the permanent end. I might come back and do little side projects, and obviously I'm doing streams on Twitch every now and then and blah, blah, blah. But no, sometimes the creative itch gets a little flowing, and sometimes I like to express something and I felt that today. And it's a day off work, so why not? I want to talk a little bit today about Kingdom Hearts 3, if you couldn't tell already via the title there on the screen. But yes, I've been playing a bunch of Kingdom Hearts recently, and I've kind of become a little bit obsessed. Well, let's say a little bit obsessed, but extremely obsessed. I'm very obsessed with this series, and I need to say something about it. I need to talk about it. Been playing it to no end. Kingdom Hearts 3, I've been plugging many hours away on. And I thought, you know, maybe a good idea for a video would be, what if I just sit here and just give a nice talk, in-depth discussion about the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3, about my honest thoughts about the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3, seeing as, well, I'm mostly covering the Disney stuff, like the main worlds, like, let's say, from Olympus up to San Fransokyo. I want to give in-depth thoughts on each of the worlds and what I thought about them, and whether I felt that maybe they were true to the film and they did enough to kind of branch away from that and do well in the inclusion of Sora, Donald, and Goofy within that. Because Kingdom Hearts, it's obviously a very complicated thing to do. You take a Disney film and you have to kind of meld it around these three characters of the main characters of this game series. It's very difficult to do. And Kingdom Hearts 9 out of 10 usually gets it right. 90% of the time they do. That's what I meant to say, sorry. They usually get it right. However, there is the odd occasion where it doesn't always work. I have those thoughts about certain worlds in this game, and some are like, oh, the little minor nitpicks, and then others are just flat out, I feel insulted for playing this, quite frankly. Um, but let's get into it. Let's talk and let's throw our thoughts out there and let's have a good chat about it today. So let's get started with the very first world that you get brought into, which is Olympus Coliseum. Now, not the first time Olympus has ever showed up in a Kingdom Hearts game. It has made an appearance in obviously the very first game where it was literally the Coliseum and you did arena type battles and stuff. By the way, I should have mentioned this might have a couple of little spoilers in it, so sorry, spoiler alert, I'll throw that in there now. Anyway, yeah, so Olympus has been in previous Kingdom Hearts games. In the first one, it also came back in Kingdom Hearts 2, where it was a little different. You were in Hades' kind of lair, and you had Auron in your party from Final Fantasy X, which was a really freaking good inclusion, might I add. I can't stress that enough. But this isn't about Kingdom Hearts 2 anyway. But yeah, how did they handle it in Kingdom Hearts 3? Well, pretty good in my honest opinion. It's the starter world, and it does a good job of getting you into the game and getting the controls all figured out and shit. That's kind of the main purpose that Olympus serves in this game. You have Hercules in your party as well, which is a first, so that's really really freaking cool. And it's very freaking pretty. The whole world is gorgeous. It really does a good job of making you feel like you jumped straight into Hercules. It's serves its purpose really well. There's plenty of really good objectives in it as well. Like you have to save people, and obviously you do encounter Hades in it early on, and it's really cool because obviously these characters have met like Sora, Donald, and Goofy before, so that conveys over very well. And all in all, Olympus does a really good job of giving you that startup into the game. It's not a boring startup either with Olympus. It is, it is straight into it, and you are getting a lot of action. And there's some bloody good boss battles at the end of it with the three kind of demons. You got that tornado one, the ice demon, and the fire fucker. I don't know if I'm getting their names right. I'm not all that versed still. and I've been playing these games for a while, but it's really, really damn good. And no, there should be no complaints with Olympus. Really, I've got no complaints about it. It's a starter world. It does enough to freaking to bring you into the game with a good pace. And I ain't really got much more to say about Olympus. They seem to nail Olympus every time they bring it into Kingdom Hearts. They are constantly making this a very, very fun and entertaining world. I don't think they've ever really got it wrong since playing these games. I've always really enjoyed my time in Olympus. So, yeah, Olympus, it's a damn good world. You've got to freaking. If I were to rate Olympus on a scale of to 10, give it about an 8 because it does a damn good job. So I give it about an 8 out of 10. You know, with no fancy editing on the screen like numbers and shit. This is pure, unadulterated thoughts on the game. So there you go. 8 out of 10, Olympus. Damn good world to start you off with. Next world is Twilight Town. Well, it's not really a world per se. It's not really a long world. It's the hub. It's the main central hub area of the whole entire game. You get back. Oh god, I'm stuttering. There, you reunite with Hainer, Pence, and Alert, which obviously you've seen in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is obviously all that alternate verse shit. There's a lot to go into. I don't really want to go into it right now, but this is the central hub. You have some interesting little things you can do. You can freaking one of the best things about Twilight Town, in my opinion, is actually getting to meet Remy from Ratatouille. Easily the highlight of this hub area is being able to cook. I can't stress it enough how awesome it is. Like seriously, just being able to go and create dishes from the Ratatouille film and being able to use said dishes in the game for certain status buffs, which really bloody help, might I add, later on in the game. Like when I got into the later parts, especially some of the later worlds into it, those dishes really came in handy for some extra health and some extra attack power and stuff. For God's sake, you need to use the Ratatouille, the bistro in the game. You really need to. Honestly, it's so damn good. And it's not just something to aid you in the game either. It is genuinely a fun little mini game into it. And I do feel like it's done really well in capturing the essence of Ratatouille, which at the end of the day is one of the most important bloody things when you're thinking about it, is do these capture the essence of the respective Disney films well? And they do. Genuinely do. You meet Scrooge in it as well, and he kind of owns the bistro, and you're constantly having to level up the bistro as you go along with these star ratings. And, I do think it is genuinely a really, really cool little mini game. Obviously, there's not much else there with Twilight Town other than the fact that you can go to the mansion and stuff like that, which houses some important story elements later on, obviously. And you obviously have your main shops in the game where you can go and get your accessories, your new weapons, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. So Twilight Town is fine at serving its purpose as a hub world. Definitely so much better than how it was done in Kingdom Hearts 2, because anyone that's played Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm currently playing the prologue again to Kingdom Hearts 2 at the moment, and anyone that's played that feckin' prologue, just it hurts. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm not trying to be horrible to Kingdom Hearts 2 because it's a fantastic game when you get past that bloody prologue. But it's a slow start to that game, and you're sick of seeing Twilight Town after the first hour of being in that prologue. And bear in mind that prologue's about 3 hours long, so it's not quick. It's really not quick. So in this game, it's handled a lot better. You go there when you need to, do what you need to do, and that is the main purpose of Twilight Town. There's not much more to say on that one. So moving on to Kingdom of Corona. Okay, so one of the first kind of main worlds you go into. Bear in mind, Olympus was a prologue world to the game, kind of a tutorial kind of stage, if you will, to get you used to things. This is really the first world that you can hit, and the game really starts to pick up at that point. So obviously, Kingdom of Corona is tied to Tangled, which is obviously a very good Disney film, to do with Rapunzel. And anyone that hasn't seen Tangled No, it's basically just a little take on Rapunzel where you meet this guy named Flynn Rider and he's on the run essentially, and he runs into this tower that Rapunzel's housed into, where she's been kept in that tower for a long ass time by her not real mother, and I'm not going to go too crazy into it. It's at the end of the day, it is Tangled, and it's brought into Kingdom Hearts. Never thought that this one would actually get into a Kingdom Hearts game. But in all honesty, I'm really bloody glad it did, because again, it does a really good job of capturing the essence of the film and kind of, incorporating Sora, Donald, and Goofy into it, which is not a bloody easy task. It really isn't. When you consider how crazily done these films are, and they've got to kind of tweak parts of the storyline to add 3 new characters into it. You know, definitely not a simple task. But again, Kingdom of Corona does it really bloody well. And it's actually a genuinely gorgeous world to look at. You know, you really need to experience Kingdom Hearts 3 firsthand, go into these worlds and just absolutely take in all the splendor of how pretty everything is. Because honestly, they're so damn gorgeous. And Kingdom of Corona is a nice big world to explore as well. It's huge. Genuinely, it's huge. When you consider how small some of the other worlds are in Kingdom Hearts games, i.e., let's say Neverland, for instance, in Kingdom Hearts 1, it's not a very big world. You're on a tiny little ship, and then you get to go to the clock tower at the end, which obviously doesn't really serve much purpose other than to just seal the keyhole in that world. When you consider how less done those worlds are, and then you look at something like Kingdom of Corona, which I know it's a game that's newer, fair enough. But if you think about it, in Kingdom Hearts 1, they had their fair share of long worlds as well, so there's no real excuse. Um, this world is huge, and there's plenty to do in it. Plenty of cute little mini games that you can do, like dancing with Rapunzel and stuff like that. You do like the dance from the film, that thing. So it's a really really nice mini game in that world to go through. And obviously you got the lanterns and all that stuff. And the final encounter with Gothel is freaking cool. That's new. So totally brand new in that one. She gets turned into a monster by the organization. And it is a really, really good boss in that area. And it's a nice way to seal things off as well. And I actually find myself coming back to Kingdom of Corona a lot. I find myself coming back to this world and actually re-exploring it and doing all these new different things. So it's a really really damn good world, and I really really like this one. I'm not finding much to complain about right now. It's not. I'm not one that gets displeased by things all the time, and I'm like, oh, I hate this, and oh, I'm nitpicky as hell. I'm not crazy nitpicky, all right. So it's very hard to really hit a nerve with me. So Kingdom of Corona doesn't do any of that. Honestly, it's a really good world. And if you like Tangled, it's even fucking better. Which I'm all right with Tangled. I have a love-hate relationship with the film because I've seen it so much, but it is genuinely a really bloody good world. I give the world a solid 8 again, like another solid 8. I don't really need to say much more than that. Moving on to the toy box. Yeah, the toy box, right? Oh my freaking god. Oh my freaking god. If you've watched Toy Story growing up, oh, this world. It's like splendor. It really is sweet splendor. To look at anyway, it is just so good. The second you've been brought into Andy's room and you can get to explore it, it's every kid's fucking dream back in the day it was to be able to explore Andy's room. I know that sounds really creepy, but like think about it, right? To be able to see the room and the world fully realized with the new technology we have now, it's like it's so crazy. Like it's genuinely so damn crazy. When you jump on Andy's bed for the first time and you see the little ripples in the bed sheets and shit. It's like, oh, it's like I'm not. It's just little bits of detail when you bounce on it and stuff. It's just so cool. And then you get to roll on like the ball in the room, and you get to. It's just great, honestly. And then you can venture outside the room, and you get to see little kind of nods to the films, um, like the yard sale sign in the back, which I only noticed recently when I went there. And then obviously it's weird because like not much of the outside is brought upon very much. It's not really the main area of this world. The main area is the Galaxy Toy Store. I think that's what it's called anyway, the Galaxy Toy Store, something like that. The toy store is the main focus of that world, which you enter by, like, you exit the room and then you can go down the street and then you actually end up there. But Galaxy Toy Store, that's the main area, and it does a pretty decent job of giving you a lot to explore. I'm not going to say it's on the same scale of Kingdom of Corona's exploration, because it's not. It is one area, and it branches off enough for it to be interesting, but you know Kingdom of Corona is quite a lot to beat in terms of how big the world is. um Enemies in this world are feckin' irritating, actually. Really bloody irritating. When you first start the game and you've got to fight those giant bots, fair enough, right? I understand you can jump into one of the other bots and fight them off that way, but to me, that kind of ruins the whole hand-to-hand combat we've been able to do up to this point. The thing is, it's like, I like being able to be outside with the party in the game. Like Woody and Buzz, especially, is like one of those things I really want to be like roaming around with them a hell of a lot. But you're kind of limited in the toy box from that. You're very limited because you have the big freaking robots in it that are constantly would damage you if you weren't even inside one of them. Um, it's and to bear in mind, there's a lot of them too. There's a fucking lot of them, so it becomes annoying after a while to really be able to stay outside of any robot and just fight normally. So it's a pace breaker in a sense. It really is. It's not a perfect world of Toy Box. Visually, it's fucking stunning. Like, holy shit, it takes you back. But in terms of how the fighting combat is handled, it's not done great in this one. Sadly, it could be a lot better. In terms of the story, it's cool. You get to meet a lot of the characters like Ham and Rex and all this stuff, and the little green toy soldiers as well. You get to meet them, and obviously, no Slinky or anything like that. Sadly, because apparently they're in the. This obviously isn't the real Andy's room or the real toy box in general. They're two different worlds that split up, and the rest I assume are in that world. But Woody, Buzz, and Rex, Ham, and all that lot, they're in this world now. And yeah, you don't get to see all the cast, sadly, as much as I would love to. But all in all, this world does do a really good job of capturing the essence of Toy Story, but it does fall short in the combat elements, and the enemies are very irritating. First time booting it up, very irritating indeed. There's cute little nods in it as well. I forgot to mention, like, if you go in the game, there's like a game shop in there where you can see like Dissidia, Final Fantasy NT billboards and shit, which is cool because obviously Square Enix made this game. And that Verum Rex commercial is really, really awesome as well. I thought that was so cool. In fact, that game looked so good, I really wanted to play it. It was brilliant looking at it. The only downside is you get taken into that game, but the problem is it's just more of that robot mech crap. That's all it is. It's just that stuff. It doesn't do enough, sadly. So if I were to give Toy Box a score, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7. Visually amazing. Doesn't always hit the right marks for me in terms of the combat and stuff. Each to their own. Fair enough. Some people might be like really, really into this world and stuff like that, but it falls short in some aspects. But damn, it's stunning to look at. I'm not trying to knock off any points for that because they did a brilliant job of making me feel like I was revisiting my childhood. So fair play to you. But moving on, here we go to Arendelle. Okay. I knew I was going to do this the second I saw this logo and the second I needed to talk about this world because it just really, really annoys me. Look, right, I get it. Frozen is a really big movie, all right? I understand it, and I'm not trying to criticize it, okay? So anyone that wants to, if anyone does stumble upon this video and they're like, oh, he's fucking criticizing Frozen, like, I don't want fanboys and fangirls coming at me for hating on this, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I fucking hate this world. In fact, this world is by far the worst world in any Kingdom Hearts game. By fucking miles. Honestly. And there's some terrible worlds in Kingdom Hearts games, but this one, oh, is total bloody ass. They cut so many corners with this world, and it oozes marketing. It oozes all this marketing crap, like freaking trying to promote the film and all this stuff. I mean, otherwise, you wouldn't have a full length version of Let It Go and practically all of Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Alright? It's so irritating. Because I remember when they first said Arendelle was going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm not crazy about Frozen, but, you know, I reckon it would be really, really cool to have Elsa or Anna in your party. And that's what we all thought. Until we saw it. And we figured out that Elsa and Anna don't even join your party in this world. Total missed opportunity. Marshmallow joins your party in this world. The abominable snow ice demon thing, whatever he is. That thing that literally nobody cares about because all its creative goal is just to look for Elsa. So it's the most dislikable party member you get in the game at that as well. You literally don't give a shit about him. You just don't. You know? And don't even get me started on the interactions that Sora, Donald, and Goofy have. There's what? Okay, you enter the world, right? And you have one minor interaction with Elsa, and she gets pissed at you because you're all happy and you're all talking about friendship, and obviously she's in a depressive slump, so if anyone that's watched the film would know that. Bear in mind then, you don't interact with Elsa anymore from that point on. Never again. You get a little interaction with Anna and Hans and what's the bloody snowman called again? I forgot his name. That's how forgettable this world is, guys. Shit. That's annoying me now. You got Anna, Hans, and damn it. I'm drawing a blank on what the snowman's called. Do you know the little fucking you? All right, I'm not going to go there because I really do. I could give two shits about this world enough to sit here and talk about it all day. Although to be fair, I could talk about it all day because how much I hate it. You have an interaction with Anna and Hans and all that stuff, and fair enough. Okay, it's not too bad, right? But then again, you never interact with them again throughout that world. You get a stupid little mini game where you gotta find all his fucking snowman parts, whatever he's called. Hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna find out his name because it's going to drive me absolutely crazy. Frozen. Hold on. Frozen. Forgot his damn name. What's his name? Olaf. God, why was that so hard? Olaf. Okay. So yeah, you have to find all of Olaf's parts because he gets broken up. Dumbest minigame in the game. Dumbest freaking minigame in the game. Easily. Boring as well, might add. I felt about as bored playing Olaf's Finding Snowman parts minigame that I did playing Kingdom Hearts 2's prologue. Honest opinion, literally honesty. And the inclusion of that love interest that bloody Anna has in it, I can't even know his name as well. This is how much I haven't really cared about Frozen, to be honest. I know I've seen the film, all right. I've seen it a couple times. I know enough about it, but the names sometimes they go out of my mind because I don't like to think about it all the time. But okay, right. He comes into it. You never see his face, and he freaking apparently gets sucked into a fucking void and turns into the boss of that area, which is, by the way, a really freaking good boss. A really damn good boss. The boss is the best part of Arendelle, but it's so badly incorporated, it lets it down immensely. And then there's the issue of Sora, Donald, and Goofy pretending that freaking Elsa, Anna, and all that stuff are like their besties and stuff. Like, it's like those interactions were meant to be there where they became really close, but they never hit the final product. So it just looks cringy. It looks really, really cringy when they're there like, oh, Elsa's our best friend and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. And then they're totally scene zoned, quite frankly, and totally ignored, blanked out completely. And it's like, holy shit. Holy shit. And I sat there and I was gobsmacked when it ended, and I was gobsmacked in the sense I was so glad it was over, but so disappointed of how badly it ended. And it's just, ugh. Okay. It's awful, and I don't really want to go into. Also, the organization member, Larxene is her name. Is it Larxene or whatever? She's badly incorporated as well. She has no purpose into it whatsoever. Absolutely no purpose in it. Total bullshit. If I'm not touching up too much about organization members and stuff, I'm trying not to give too many bloody spoilers. I just like, I mentioned spoiler warning at the start, but like I don't want to go too crazy into it because I know some people might get a little bit like ugh about it. I want to give a brief kind of overview of these worlds, and honestly, Arendelle is total horseshit. It's so horseshit, and everything's incorporated poorly, and I really don't want to talk about it anymore. So it gets a 3 out of 10. I can't give it any more. I just can't. You know, that 3 is generous considering that boss at the end is really freaking good. But the rest of it's total horseshit, and I haven't visited it since I've completed it since. Because I haven't felt the need to do so or want to do it. So it's a 3 out of 10. It's a 3 out of 10. It's horseshit world. So moving on. Monstropolis. Ooh, okay. Right. I'm a massive Monsters Inc. fan. Like seriously, I've watched the film, and I watched both of them. I've watched Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. Right, I really like this world. I really like Monstropolis because it did a really good job again of making me feel like I was in the film. And Sora, Donald, and Goofy's designs in this world are by far my favorite looking designs of them in the entire game, easily. They look so freaking cool as monsters. It's really really funny. Um, it it kind of starts you off straight away into where Sully and Mike have Boo, and like Boo is so damn adorable. Obviously, they've reused her lines from the film because there's not really much need to go crazy with any more lines. So she's constantly saying like Mike Wazowski and all this stuff, and it's just funny. And I really like Sully and Mike as party members as well. You know, there's total contrast in quality between this and Arendelle, because these are the next, like in the second section of the game, Monstropolis and Arendelle, the worlds open up. Like the contrast is nuts. Because I played it in the order of Arendelle and then Monstropolis, and I was so glad to get here because it was so different. It was like I was playing a different game. That's how crazy it was. So I think that allowed me to appreciate Monstropolis even more, even though I knew I was going to love it anyway because I love the film, genuinely. So Monstropolis is again a really freaking good world in terms of making you feel like you're in the movie, and some of the enemies are really inventive as well. Like some of the monsters that you fight, um, there's more touch up with organization and all this stuff, and obviously this is this must be after the events of the film because obviously their motto is like not scaring now. It's more so like about laughter and all that stuff, which is how obviously the Monsters Inc. ended. Um, Randall is the main kind of antagonist of this world, which is what we expected it was going to be. He's not voiced very well. I think a lot of people had a problem with his voice. I didn't like his voice particularly. I thought it was very, it fell flat for me. The voice did. It's nowhere near as good as it is in the movie. I can't remember the guy that voiced Randall in the film, but it is it doesn't do a very good job in Monstropolis. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to be nitpicky too much over a voice when the rest of the world to me was really good. There's plenty to explore in it. It's long enough, and again, this one really really made me feel like a kid again playing it, which I think is the most important part of these games, is making you feel like a kid again from the days when you watched Disney. And these films hold a very special place in my heart, and they do. Monsters Inc. and Toy Story especially. I do think Monsters Inc. was done a lot better than the Toy Box world, easily. I find myself coming back to Monstropolis a lot to do grinding and stuff. So I haven't really got much more to say on Monstropolis because again, it just follows the formula that it's set really well. It just really does. Monstropolis would easily easily would get a solid 8 again. I've probably given 8s a lot, but I can't really. Nothing's perfect, right? But 8 out of 10, I find, is that score where I think you're perfectly satisfied with it and you perfectly feel like it was worth your time. Unlike Arendelle, it's an 8 out of 10. Um, it's good. It obviously it'll take a lot to get me up past 8, which, by the way, we're probably going to later because some of the worlds get really good. Monstropolis is damn good. You know, freaking be happy with it because you'll feel like a kid again if you love Monsters Inc. You really will. Moving on to the 100-Acre Wood, the throwaway world mostly in these games. Good to say though that this is better than Arendelle. Right, okay. People don't like this world in Kingdom Hearts 3. I've come to the conclusion they don't like it. They really don't like it. Which, all right, fair enough. It's nothing crazy about it. But you have to understand, this is optional, this world. It's an optional world, you know? And it's... Actually, hold on, let me think about this. Is it optional in Kingdom Hearts 3? I think it is. I don't know. But, look, I never complained when I got put in there because all the 100-Acre Wood has served to be is a mini-game world. That's all it ever was. So, for fuck's sake, people don't need to be critical on it because it's pointless. This world has always just been some optional thing anyway. It's never amounted to much because that's what it is. You know, it's a mini game world to get you away from the stresses of the game for a minute or two. Which, by the way, 100-Acre Wood was a really welcome thing to have after subjecting myself to Arendelle. It really was, honestly. It's a cute little fruit matching mini game. That's all it is. And it's fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. It does what it needs to do every time they bring it into Kingdom Hearts. You see Pooh and friends again, and it's cutesy enough. It's absolutely cute as hell. And I didn't find the mini game terrible, really. It was just a relaxing way to kind of blow off a bit of steam after the few worlds that I've encountered before this. So, you know, it's fine. I give it a fucking 5. I give it like a 5 out of 10 because it's okay. I don't need to give it any higher because the purpose it serves, it's not meant to be taken crazy seriously, and it's not meant to be the most loved world in this game because it's just the 100-Acre Wood. And by now you should all know what to expect with it. Okay? You should all know what to expect with it. It's fine. It's a good world. Just, you know, it's just a cute way to blow off some steam. So, moving on. Okay. Okay, the Caribbean. All right. This was my favorite world in the entire game. It's my favorite world because I love Pirates of the Caribbean. That's one good reason. And it's the most visually stunning world out of the bunch. Easily. Now, fair enough, the reason for that is because obviously Pirates of the Caribbean was a real life film. So they literally made the graphics crazy good for this world. It's like, again, it was like I was playing another bloody game. Like, I jumped into Pirates of the Caribbean and holy shit, it doesn't pull punches, this world. It's bloody fun. And it is, again, this is the contrast in quality control out of this and Arendelle. Arendelle was a bog standard go up some freaking mountains and fall off the mountain, then go up to the mountain again, and fall off the mountain again, and tiny little fucking area that didn't even have the town in it from the film. This is different, okay? You're brought straight into there and you chase after Jack's boat and you're immediately teaming up with him and it's like, holy shit, he's right there. And freaking you meet up with the characters again like Will and Elizabeth and Barbosa, and it's everyone's got a history and it's nice. It was so I'll tell you what, it was so fresh to see interactions the way they were in this world after Arendelle. I know I keep coming back to Arendelle, but there was no interactions, fuck all interactions in that world at all. But this world is so different. Everyone's got a history, everyone knows each other. It's so great to see everyone again. It's awesome. You get to go to Port Royal, you get to fucking voyage the seas in a boat. Need I say any more than that? By the way, luscious freaking scenery. You know, it's realistic and the graphics are spectacular in the Caribbean, easily. You get to go to Port Royal, you get to explore literally pretty much all of Port Royal. It was huge. Plenty of bustling fucking neighborhoods, towns, all that stuff. And holy crap, guys. This is a damn good world. You know, probably better in this game than it was in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was amazing in Kingdom Hearts 2. But obviously there was so much more they could work with in the new game. New graphics, new engine, everything. They had all the recipes to make this world perfect, and they really, really perfected it. And they really hit the nail on the head. They really did. The Caribbean is my favourite world in the game, and I had a funny feeling it was going to be. But it genuinely is. It's so good. It is so good. I have no complaints with the Caribbean whatsoever. Literally zero complaints. The enemies were fun to face against. The boat battles were awesome. Because, you know, being a pirate at sea and stuff and having Jack Sparrow on your side, it felt empowering. It really felt empowering. And, oh, the boss fight with Davy Jones. The boss fight with Davy Jones and the cutscenes and how great everything looks. It's all done perfection. It's all done to perfection in the Caribbean. Easily worth a 9 out of 10. Even a 10. I might even give it a 10. Because it's freaking great. This was the world that most people were hyping because of what this engine could do. This new engine. And they did not disappoint with the Caribbean. I'm so glad they brought it back. I'm genuinely so glad they brought it back to Kingdom Hearts 3. I really am. Fucking 10. I'll give it a 10, go on. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Moving on to the last Disney world in the game. San Fransokyo. Freaking right. Okay, right. Big Hero 6. Amazing film. Really touching film in parts as well, you know. Really, really hits home on some aspects. I was really excited when they mentioned San Fransokyo in Kingdom Hearts. I was really excited to know that it was coming. And not it hit the nail on the head in most parts. It's got problems. It does. I have criticisms with it. I do have criticisms with this world. I thought I would really, really get on with it, but I came out of it with very mixed thoughts. It's not the longest world in the game. It's pretty short. I didn't feel like I was playing it for very long. You know, I felt like I wrapped it up pretty quick. You know, and you kind of go straight into the world and you're greeted with Baymax and Hero and the crew and all this stuff. And you're on the bridge, as you can see in that picture there now, and you're fighting a bunch of the Heartless in it, and you get introduced to some of the new enemy types in this world as well, which are really, really good. Don't get me wrong, really, really good. And then the hub. This world has a hub area. It's a bit weird. You have a hub area of Hero's Garage, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. You get to interact with the characters in the garage and stuff, and you basically all mission objectives are done in that garage. You don't get to go outside until you've said or asked Hero for a mission or something like that. You basically you go to get missions off him. You do tutorials. You do like this tutorial race at the start to get you used to things. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the purpose that it serves. You go out into the town. When you're in the town, don't get me wrong. When you're actually in the town and you're actually fighting, you're flying on Baymax and stuff like that. It's really good. You know, it does look really good. But I came away at the end of it feeling kind of underwhelmed because it wasn't. I don't think it handled it in the way it should have. I think having a Hero's Garage as like a hub area is it's a little lacking for me. I would have rather that you just was able to do like you did in the toy box, which I'm actually going back to the toy box for a bit of a compliment here. But the way the toy box did it, where you was just in Andy's, they could have done Andy's room like a hub area, like they did in San Fransokyo, where you just spoke to Woody and Buzz, and then you got to go outside, and then you got to go in the toy stop. But they didn't do that. They should have done it in San Fransokyo exactly like they did it in the toy box, where you could enter the garage if you wanted to, I don't know, speak to anyone or whatever, do optional missions and stuff like that. And you should be able to just go out at will to the town and then do what you need to do. I don't think it felt a bit annoying to have to be immediately transported back to the garage just to pick a mission and then move on. You know, that was my real gripe with the world. You know, when you're out there and doing stuff, it's fine, but it's too damn short. It's just too short. And I know the Caribbean was super long, so maybe they wanted to like narrow one down a little bit. It just wasn't very long. And I liked the story of these characters. And coming from someone that really likes Big Hero 6, I really wanted a bit more. What was there was really good, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't enough of it for me to feel like, oh wow, that was really cool and I really enjoyed that. You know, I give San Fransokyo a 7 out of 10. Just because I really like Big Hero 6 and I think some of the battles were really good in it, and being able to fight the Baymax. Oh yeah, I meant to say, being able to fight the Baymax from the film that was lost in that void and being able to bring him back was really cool. That was a really cool. Fair enough, right? That felt like a little bit of like a new sequel to me. You know, so that was kind of a cool little plus point of it. But in terms of exploration, in terms of stuff like that, San Fransokyo fell a little short. It's really good, but it's not the best world in the game, and it's too quick. It's way too quick. But yeah, it's a 7 out of 10. So that's it. We've wrapped up all the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, all the Disney worlds anyway. All the 9 main worlds in the game we've wrapped up. There's stuff coming later, obviously like the final worlds and stuff like that. But I haven't really got too crazy into those yet. So I'll give my thoughts maybe at another date with that. You know, but right now, you've had my thoughts on all the 9 worlds. Olympus, really, really good. Twilight Town, good hub world. Kingdom of Corona, huge and really fun to play on. Toy Box, really, really visually stunning, but lacks in the combat areas, and it's kind of annoying. Arendelle, horse shit. Total fucking horse shit. Monstropolis, made me feel like a kid again. Really, really good. 100 Acre Wood, cute minigame. Nothing more than that, really, but I blew off some steam with it. The Caribbean, best fucking world in the game. Holy shit. San Fransokyo, lacks in areas, but all in all, pretty damn good. So thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you do want me to do more look backs at some of the worlds in the previous Kingdom Hearts games, please let me know, and please give me some feedback, because I'm still new at doing stuff like this in terms of like giving my honest thoughts about things. I lack in certain areas. My words don't always connect the way they should. And, you know, but this is the whole point of it. It's a learning experience. It's a learning experience. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day and take care. Bye-bye.